Hey guys, as you know, the popularity of Pokemon has gone up massively recently, and in tune with that, the popularity of grading has gone up massively recently. But it's not just the big ones like PSA and Beckett and CGC anymore. There's a new emergence, especially in the UK, of much smaller graders who are just starting out. And so a lot of you may be tempted to try them out, as am I. So I thought I'd make a video today on how I personally get my cards set up and ready to send off for grading. This can be used if you are doing it to the big boys as well, but obviously it's pretty universal. Here we go, so we've got our card. It's the promo from the decks from Vivid Voltage, the Charizard. The first thing you're going to want to do is just quickly give it a look over to make sure there's no dust or little flakes on it, or dirt at all. This one looks pretty good. And then we're going to be popping it straight into a penny sleeve. I mean, I'd recommend having things in penny sleeves anyway, especially stuff like this, but if you don't, put it in one. Now what we're going to use is one of these little tabs. So these are little book tabs for pages. They're half adhesive on one side and the other side isn't. And what I mean by that is if I pull this off, you can see that's not sticky at all, whilst the underside of this one there is. And we're going to see the sticky section of it, see where it ends, and we're going to pop that one on the back. Try to get as central as possible. There we go. Now the reason for that will become clear soon. It's to help you and potentially the graders. So once we've got it on the back, you're going to want to grab yourself what we call a semi-rigid. So this is a semi-rigid. It's kind of like a top loader, but not quite as thick, as you can see. And they're perfect for sending stuff off for grading. They keep everything tight and still, so the card doesn't bend too much. The card stays perfectly still in there. And more importantly, it makes it easier for the graders to get your card out. So with a top loader, they're quite heavy duty, but with these, the semi-rigids, what most grading companies will do is cut down the side and then get your card out that way. It gives less chance for damage. Now, these can be quite difficult. So what I recommend is stretching out a little bit at the start, not too much, just a little bit, just to be able to work the card into there. So almost make like an air pocket there. Because like I said, they do really grip your cards. So if we give that a little flex, like so. Then what we'll do is, what I usually do is I keep 2 fingers in it, like so. Like that, keeping it apart. I grab the card and slowly start easing it down. Now this is probably the most difficult bit of the whole process, if I'm honest with you. There we go, sliding it down. And then once you've got it most of the way in, you can grab it by the sides, still using 2 fingers to keep it open, and just lower it down a bit more. There we go. I'd say we're nearly there with this one. Obviously being careful with the card. So we've now got it in there, and this is where this little tab can help you. There we go. You can just use it to straighten it up in there. So that, I feel, is in there pretty well. You've got enough space on the corners and around the edges now to keep it protected if something does knock into this. And we're good to go. And like I said, that tab helped us maneuver around in there, but if you ever need to get it out before sending it off for grading, you can. You can just grab the tab and pull it and it'll come out. Alternatively, the graders may not cut these open and they may just pull it out using that. I don't know, it depends on the grader you're using. So I'm actually going to be sending 5 cards off, so I didn't bore you with the packaging of the other ones. What I recommend next is to use one of these, just a little seal bag. Some people consider this to be over the top. I personally do not, because my biggest fear is once they're in the post, I have no control over them. And I don't know if moisture is going to get into the box somehow. So by putting them in a little sealable bag like this, it doesn't matter if the box is subject to any rain or water when it's out. None of the moisture should be able to seep in and get to my cards. After you've done that, you want to be cutting a couple of bits of cardboard out, like so. The reason for this is to put it either side of your cards for that little bit of extra added protection. There we go. And to keep it stable, you can use a couple of either elastic bands or, as I've got here, hair bands. Now you don't want it to be too tight, but you also don't want it to be too loose, because you don't want it to compact the cards so much that they damage each other, or if there's anything in there at all that it will indent into the card. But you also don't want the cards to be moving around too much within here. So as you can hear, or not hear, they're not going anywhere. So that's good to go. So next step for me is bubble wrap. If we can get it on the table. And literally just wrap it in. Now again, if you don't have bubble wrap, don't worry too much. You can use other things, like for example packing paper, packing card, that kind of stuff. I just do this as just a little bit extra basically. But the reality is, like I said, anything that you can wrap around it to keep it still and stable is good. So there we go. And then we'll flip that corner over. Flip that corner over. And now we've got a nice secure little package. You can tape it if you want to, but to be honest, once it's in the box, it won't matter too much. And speaking of the box, here we go. So exactly that, just a box. Nothing special about it. Some people say, you know, obviously you can put them in jiffy bags and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I would much rather use a box like this, even though I've got all my extra protection, because you never know what's going to be in the van with your package. So you don't want anything piercing a side of a jiffy bag, going through the thin layer of cardboard and bubble wrap you've got on your item and denting the cards. It's not even so much about it piercing through and hurting them, just compression on the jiffy bag, you know, can cause indents on your card, which will mark it down. So we'll start off by putting some packing material in, like so. Just a little bit on the bottom. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pop our cards in. Again, like I said, feel free to take that down if you want to. And just some extra. We'll put some more packing material in, like so. If you seal the box and you shake it, nothing moves. So we'll just give that a quick sound check, feel check. That is not going anywhere. You need to have your submission form. This particular submission is for MGC, which is a new company that I thought I'd give a go and see how we get on. There will also be another slip where you put things like your name, your contact details, your return address, but obviously I'm not going to show you guys that. Okay. Put that on top of our cards. It's usually a good idea to write your cards out in order that you're submitting them in. So if you put your first card on top and write that one as your first card in the submission, it usually makes the admin side of the process a lot quicker for the guys on the other end. We're now going to tape it up as securely as we can. Shake test, still good. Right, so we've got our parcel ready to go. We're going to the post office now. And the last little bit of advice I can offer you is to send it as like a special delivery or a recorded delivery of some sorts. That way you're giving yourself the best kind of protection in case anything happens on the way there or anything like that, for example. But yeah, that's how I set cars up for grading. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.